Hola amigos and welcome back to Super Amigo Squad with your fearless leader Rio. Yeah, I know. I said it was gonna be bi-weekly and for my updates again, but once again sorry about that. Something came out. When you have a cranky old grandmother who refuses to go to the hospital, things get a little weird when she falls down the stairs and breaks most of her ribs. So a lot of stuff came up. But we're back. We're going to be doing it. There will be 3 videos this week, rants alone. 3 videos this week for just rants, and that's kind of make up for it. And then there will be 3 videos next week. And then we'll kind of even out from there. Because I did miss all of last week, and I'm really sorry about that, guys. I decided that today's rant is going to, since we brought up Generator Rex and how it met its untimely demise while Ben 10 continued onward, I decided to bring up another show that was amazing that made me really salty. Which, another show that was lost a little too soon is Disney XD's Motorcity. Now, I love that show. It was made by Titmouse Studios. When I initially saw the first little 10-second commercial clip, I thought it was like a Hot Wheels show. And then when it came out and I was conveniently off work when it was playing the first episode on the day it aired, so I watched it and I was like, okay, it is let me summarize this for you. Like I said, Titmouse Studios, it is beautiful. The main characters and the cast is let me start. The main plot of this is it is about a gang who live in a post-apocalyptic world in this dream city of the highest technology, but there's one guy, a corporation that's in charge, ran by one guy who is basically oppressing everybody. And it's a basically post-nuclear war. So they're all in this city, and there's people in the underbelly of the city, which is what's left of the old city of Detroit. And they built Detroit Deluxe, which is the new city on top of the old city. And so the main bad guy, Abraham Cain, is trying to weed his way into that underbelly again to kind of transform that into a part of Deluxe. But because there are people who don't want to live under Cain's rule and his dictatorship, that's where they introduce our main characters, which the lead is Mike Chilton. Mike Chilton. Sorry, can't speak today. He originally, they start off giving you quite a bit about him. They tell you that he used to be, right in the beginning, he used to be Cain's lieutenant. And then Mike found out how they were conforming it. They didn't care that there were people still in buildings and stuff like that. They just wanted them mowed down. They didn't care about he didn't care about casualties and everything, so Mike quit and formed a gang to protect these people. And there's quite a bit. It was such a beautiful series and such a beautiful just one season. And there were so many questions at the end of it that you couldn't help but be like, where's this going? What is going on? And I think that kind of intrigued a lot of people because there were so many different parts of the story that by the end of the series you're like, this could continue. I have so many questions, and then they never continued with it. The main group is Mike Chilton, and his gang is called the Burners. The Burners consist of Julie, who is actually secretly Cain's daughter, and I think by the end of the season, Mike realizes it, but she never tells anybody. There is Dutch, and he's their engineer, and he left. He likes art and stuff like that, and he'll do street art with spray paint and stuff, which is really pretty. But he likes to be creative and get in that mindset. But you couldn't do that in Deluxe, so he was under constant threat of being arrested. So he left his family to go live in Motor City, which is what's left of the original Detroit. And so he moved down there and joined the Burners. Then there's Chuck, which I don't know why I didn't say him first. Chuck is Mike's best friend. Never really tells you how they met, though. But he's the only one. He technically does have a car of his own. He's just scared of driving. He's scared of everything. And they do come up on an episode about him being afraid of everything, and about how being brave is not about not being afraid. It's about knowing that you're afraid and doing what needs to be done anyways. Which honestly, I really liked that concept. And then there's Texas. Yes, a character is named Texas. He is honestly one of the sweetest, most dumbest characters. He's very, very prideful, very boastful. He thinks he's the second in command. So, he's just like, everybody has to rely on Texas. And, like, there's so much about him that is basically unknown. There's, like, little bits that make you consider, like, he might be smarter than he lets on, but at the same time, you're just like, no, he's really dumb. Or is he? But, like, he's really dumb, in a lot of the situations, which is really, but it looks like it's all in good fun. But they never really revealed where he's from, though. Which, there's been a lot of different theories, but he's just one of those characters that is unique and also does not tell you how they met either. So, like, the only one who really got a little bit of backstory about how he joined the Burners was Dutch. But it wasn't really too much backstory. It was like a vague kind of little art montage thing he was doing. And, like, they all somehow came together and they were protecting all of these people. And there are more than just, there's more than just Kane. There are the Terras, which are basically the eco-terrorists of the thing. Kane has been dumping toxic waste in their gardening grounds, and it basically caused all sorts of mutations of not only the creatures, the plants, but the people themselves. They're all mutants, and they covered up pretty well. And it's in a Texas episode when they're like, well, I like how extreme Texas is. And they're like, well, let's use his method to get back at Kane. But it was putting people at risk. And the leader of the Terras, Kaya, didn't give a crap. She was just like, isn't this what you want in Texas? And he was like, no, this is not. And they take advantage of his excitement and the fact that someone's actually agreeing with him for once, which he does, thankfully, realize that. And then there is the Duke of Detroit, voiced by Dee Snider, by the way, which is amazing. He is, there's another character that you don't know a lot about. They do really good at giving you these mystery about these characters. The Duke is one of the richest people to ever live in Detroit. He has his own mansion. He has a tank that shoots limos. It was ridiculous. Like, he always has, like, a bunch of limos and everything, and he lies and says that he has no interest in Mike's car and calls it a jalopy, but then the second Mike is not looking, he's just like, my baby, I must have you. And he'll try to, weasel it out from under Mike every chance, and he's very selfish. He has, like, betrayed everybody for his own desires many times, even though it seems like he's gonna be a companion, and then he'll turn around and be like, nah, I'll be like, I'm not your friend. I'm doing all of it for me, which is kind of a terrible turnaround. There are so many good points. The show touches up on a lot of different things, like drug abuse, kind of like mental disabilities and stuff like that, traumatic experience, PTSD. Things like that do come up quite a bit in the show, as well as just like even if it's an underlying tone for a Disney show, it was beautifully done. And like, I don't have any bone against Disney shows. It's just it was something that was very unexpected at the time when it came out. It was on a little more of a serious note. There was a lot of comedy in it, but at the same time there were some dark parts, like the basically scheduling Mike Chilton's execution in like one of the finales. A lot of one of the things that did make me curious is that the basis for it is that in one of the things that when they started expanding upon the world is there's a myth going around for a guy called Vega, and it was said that Vega was from Cleveland. but a lot of that is like they said that he's a myth because it's supposedly said because Kane has guaranteed and told everybody that everything outside of Deluxe's force field, everything outside of the force field is just pure radiation. There's no way anyone can survive outside of that. There's no one else. There's no one left. And so Vega is this myth. And spoiler alert, so you know, like fast forward the next couple of seconds if you don't want to hear this. But the Duke and Kane team up and use this myth about Vega to trick Mike into believing that, and it's Kane pretending to be Vega the whole time, which is a little upsetting and stuff like that. But at the same time, it makes you think though, where did this myth come from? Why Cleveland? Why Vega? Like, who is this person that you suggested? Is it really pure radiation outside? What is out there? And they're with the way that Kane acts, he makes it very much seem like there's a bigger, like, in a way, you kind of get the idea is with the way he is defensive of everything and he's saying he's doing everything to protect everybody. But he's setting up this kind of level of oppression, and you're like, that's not protecting. But at the same time, you kind of get the feeling like maybe there is something bigger out there that they should be more afraid of than just like dealing with the Detroit Deluxe. And that's what kind of gets me. Like, one of the theories that I had is that maybe Texas, because like they never tell you where Texas came from, and Texas is such a loud person. And just because of who he is as a person, I doubt he was, and for the fact that nobody has anything on him, and they couldn't find anything on him, is that it makes me kind of wonder if maybe Texas is from the outside, and he just never told anybody. I had a bunch of theories about that. It's just like the little things in the show, the little aspects of the show. Like a lot of the post-apocalyptic theme is very big nowadays. I can definitely tell you that. Like, it's officially November, so it's National Novel Writing Month, and my book is post-apocalyptic. It's a zombie-themed book, which is what, when I polled, that's what everyone requested, so that's what everyone wanted, so that's what I'm doing. And it is such a popular genre nowadays that I think that if any show were to make a comeback, other than Young Justice, of course, I'm so glad it's coming back. It should, but if any other show were to make a comeback, it would be Motorcity. They're making shows like Star vs. the Forces of Evil and stuff nowadays, where it's in such a mid-ground that anybody could like it. But there was a huge rumor going around on Motorcity that was airing that they never wanted, that the reason why they never made a season 2 is because even though they had all sorts of plans to, there was a huge rumor going around that it was because there was too many girls watching boys' cartoons. And I don't know if that was ever real. If you guys find out anything more on that, there was, I didn't really, like, at the time I was so frustrated that I didn't even bother looking it up. But I've always, like, suggested if you are interested in something like that, or definitely something with post-apocalyptic thing, that's going to be a good thing. Because, like, I thought it's going to be all about the cars. It's going to be one of those Disney shows. I'm probably not going to like it very much. And then I got into it, and I was just like, oh my god, he kicks ass. There's a freaking LARPing episode, and I was, like, dying. It was hilarious. The scenes are beautifully done. And the characters are their own little unique things, have their own little quirks and dislikes. And there's their own little, there's, like, suggested people liking each other or something like that. Or there's no guaranteed ship, so, like, nothing is confirmed. So you can basically ship anybody if you're into that. But it's such a beautiful series. And there are the fandom itself on... Sorry, adjusted my shirt. The fandom itself is still alive, or trying to stay alive on Tumblr. So, like, I read a lot of their fan fictions and stuff, and I love all of their art. And, like, I've even commissioned some of the artists who are still going for fan art and stuff of Motorcity as well. It is such a beautiful thing. I may end up doing a Motorcity series and stuff like that, just because, like, if I end up doing it on Patreon, I will let y'all know. But it was such a since I had gotten started talking about Generator Rex, it just made me think of what other shows did I really like and get infuriated when they were canceled, and that was one of the first things that popped in my brain. Like, I like sat down literally after watching the end of it, and I'm like, shoot, I can think of a whole second season on my own, and that's kind of where the idea came from. If well, that's basically all I have to say about that. It's kind of a silly thing. It's just how my writer's brain works, and if I do end up making a Patreon series, like I said, I'll let you know. I will put the link to my Patreon below in case you guys want to check anything out. Everything on there at the moment is currently free to read up to a certain point. Everything on it is except for, everything on it right now is currently free to read. Everything, once they all start hitting about chapter 10 onward, it'll probably be for donation wise, but otherwise you're good on that. If I do start any kind of series that you guys want to see me write about, go ahead and let me know. But as far as the rant goes, I'm gonna close this off since I'm already starting to trail off into my last minute kind of stuff. Sorry. Sorry, hiccups. Yeah, so the show itself, if you are interested in a show that it is unexpectedly great, beautiful art, like I said, Titmouse Studios, so best it could be. If you are interested for the laughs, the feels, the things that you weren't expecting, Motorcity is a great show for that. It is a beautiful series. Please check it out. I recommend it highly. That's all I have to say on it. Let me know what you think of it. You may not like it. I just say it's just one of my personal favorites. As far as writing's concerned, like I said, I will put the link to my Patreon below. You can also catch me on Twitter at superamigosquad, and it'll be fearlessly to Rio because that's me. And also on Instagram under my pen name, which is Morgan Barrows. I will also put that stuff below as well. If you would like a copy of my book, it is available on Amazon. It is this. I will get a better cover for it soon. It is a fantasy story. Let me know what y'all think. And I will also make sure all that information is available as well. And I will definitely be doing another, I should stop calling them announcements. I'll just call them a vlog a little bit later, and I will give you guys some more information on that stuff. Alrighty then, questions, comments, concerns, below. If you like this video, please like it, and I will do more rants about shows or whatever. If you have any shows or anything you want to hear me rant about, comic books, manga, anime, put it in the comment section below, and maybe I'll do a rant about it. If you want to see more videos, subscribe, and like I said, please subscribe. Like I said, if you do end up making a suggestion, and if I do end up doing a rant about it, subscribing would be the quickest way to know. So, thank you so much for joining us, and to be continued in the next episode. Bye!